Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for the delay. You're here at episode 3 of the Salt City Grind with my main homie, Al-Amin Muhammad. We were trying to get the computer working, then we were trying to get the iPhone working. We couldn't get the camera working, couldn't get the mics working, but we're finally here. We're here a little late, but I'm here with my man Al-Amin. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me, Joe. Man, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Oh, it's great, bro. It's great to catch up with you, man. I mean, you and I are both on the run so often that we hardly get time to break bread anymore. So it's good to make this time, carve some time out, man.
Yes, I know, but I cherish the time that we did link up, though.
Yes, for
So,
sure, my brother.
yeah.
So, how's everything going, man? So I'll start out the interview by asking. Well, I guess tell us, for those who don't know you and what you do, tell people what We Rise Above the Streets is. What your mission statement is, what you guys do, and let the folks know, what you guys are all about with We Rise Above the Streets.
Great. Yes, my name is Al-Amin Muhammad. I'm the founder of We Rise Above the Streets Recovery Outreach. We Rise Above the Street Recovery Outreach is a nonprofit organization that go out to the community and that feed and clothe the homeless community and the working poor. But before we go out there and feed and clothe the working poor and the homeless community, I go out there with the volunteers and to teach everyone and to go out there and promote kindness, goodness, and compassion amongst the community. We have an event called Summer Saturday, and the purpose of Summer Saturday is to get the community together to go out to the community to tackle a lot of issues that's going on in our community, and that is poverty and homelessness. And my goal has been successful because my goal was to bring everybody from different walks of life to come together. It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, different race, different culture, different religion. It really doesn't matter, to bring everyone in one room for only one purpose. And what is that purpose? To help humanity.
I love it, bro. And as someone who's been to a couple of Sandwich Saturdays, man, I can tell you have achieved your goal, man. It's a beautiful thing. All the work you do is just warms the heart profoundly. It's an inspiration. I don't think anyone can deny you're one of the most inspiring characters that we've got in this region. You do so much, man. And so I guess the first question I got online from folks was, so much of what you do is hand to hand. You're out there in the community, sitting with folks, breaking bread. And how has this crisis with COVID and with coronavirus, how has this affected your mission with what you're doing with We Rise Above the Streets? And how have I've seen that you've still been running the food pantry, you've still been doing the work. How has it operated now? And you also have the annual events coming up. How has all this stuff affected what you're doing, and how have you continued the mission despite the challenges that have come up?
Yes, it affected a lot. I had a lot of goals ahead of me. I had classes. I had people sign up for classes, for self-sufficient classes. I had a lot of events coming up. I had a lot of jobs for different individuals out in the streets who overcame homelessness. And Summer Saturday had to be postponed because of the coronavirus and the social distance. I had to postpone it, cancel it, because we have over like 200 people there. The largest crowd has been like 575 volunteers. So I don't want to risk nobody's lives coming to Summer Saturday, and be affected with the disease, and especially when we go out there to the community as well. So what I did, I went on social media and emailed a lot of people, went on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and emailed a lot of volunteers and told them that we're canceled, till further notice, and no volunteers should show up at all, not even come to the office to help me out. So at this moment, I'm doing everything by myself. And what I mean by that is I'm running a food pantry on Thursdays and Saturday, and the numbers has been increasing. When I started a food pantry, and you know what, Joe, this is weird. Before the pandemic, 3 months ago, I was running Summer Saturday and speaking to a lot of different elementary schools and universities and a lot of corporate offices, and going to different jail systems and speaking and motivating people. And I was so busy, but every time I woke up in the morning, a pantry kept popping up in my head. And I thought I was going crazy. I said, man, you got too much going on. Why you keep thinking about a pantry? So I finally got tired of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and run the pantry an hour after Summer Saturday. So that's what I did. I ran the pantries an hour after Summer Saturday with a couple of individuals who've been with me, volunteer for several years, and this happened. I'm like, wow.
Right.
It was like a sign that I needed to do this, you know. So the pantry had been started like about 3 months ago, and we had a few individuals coming like 10, 11, 15. But now at this moment, since this pandemic didn't happen, we have 25, 40 families been coming Thursday and Friday. The reason I love doing this work, doing a pantry, because of course we're practicing social distance, and I have a gate right in front of my office door, and I put the grocery bags on the other side of the gate. And some days I go out and do delivery. I mean, drive through.
Right.
Through the back office. You've been through the back door. They'll come and I'll put it in the back of their trunk. And after I'm done on Thursdays and Fridays with the pantry, building relationships with different families, and it's real different because these are the people who had jobs, who had a career.
So that's what you're seeing since the COVID, since the coronavirus. You're seeing more and more people that are not so much the homeless or unemployed, people that have work are now coming in this new way.
Yes. I just seen a couple of people, and to be honest with you, Joe, there's people who've been in Summer Saturday faithfully with families now coming to the pantry, and it really. Right. So that's what I'm doing on Thursdays and Saturdays, and the rest of the week I leave at night at 7 o'clock, and I go out and meet individuals that's homeless who used to come to Summer Saturdays at Building Park, and I meet each person individual during the week and give them supplies. I'm passing out bags for the gloves, hand sanitizers that have been donated to different companies and been donated to people in office, political offices as well. And there's glove, masks, and a sandwich and a couple of snacks in the bags. And I go out to the certain individuals that I know that I'm doing the Summer Saturdays, and I give them the product as well. So I've been doing this for the past, since this been started. My only day off is on Sundays, spend time with family, but other than that, that's what I'm doing. I'm continuing doing everything by myself,
Keeping the grind going, but instead of the big groups and crowds that you normally have, you just out there grinding it alone a lot of the time.
Just on grinding alone. And I just want to thank everyone that's watching, everyone. I have over hundreds of mails that come to my office that people thanking myself and thank for the organization and telling me that from them volunteers healed themselves, it's healing them. And I'm having a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages and Facebook messages that people are telling me when Summer Saturday starting, whenever you and they'll bring memories. It's like overwhelming, get all these messages and these letters from the community, even the homeless community that write letters as well. But I have to be safe, and I have to make sure the community is safe, and I have to do this alone to everything be okay, be right back on track.
Yeah, so definitely, I'm curious. Like, I've always wondered this. So it's an amazing thing that you mostly through the love that you generated in the community and your social media presence, you are able to be this major resource for the community. The resources come to you and you distribute them. And as far as I'm aware, the funding has all been through grassroots and people coming to you and donating. Have you gotten any larger scale? I mean, how does the you show up with sandwiches, you show up with masks, you show up with sanitary products. How do they all come to you? How do you get the funds and the resources and the means to be that distributor to the community with your charity work?
Right. For 4 years, I haven't applied for no grants. This year, for the first time, I applied for a grant for the Community Foundation. I just want to thank them too. They approved me for the grant. That was my first grant I ever.
Nice.
And I just been approved a couple of weeks ago, But before the Community Foundation generous gave me the grant, everything was by community. Everything to our office donation came through by community. Now I just want to tell you that I could easily had applied for grants several years ago with no problem. But it was a message I was trying to send to the community that if we come together, we could do this all together as a community. It sounded crazy, the first time I tried to do it, because you really think about it, if you have a nonprofit and you're dependent on community, it's not going to last too long. You have to apply for a grant sooner or later.
Right.
But Joe, and everybody that's watching, I've been really been blessed for 4 years. The community been taking care of the organization. It's not about me anymore. It's not about me. And I constantly tell people through Sandwich Saturday, it's about us now. Yes, I started an organization. I built the organization. And now you guys are entering my home. This is your home now. And we're doing it all together. And it's been successful. Over the 4 years, only been twice that we have ran out of donations. And it was because of me, because me running around not paying attention and reaching out to the community.
Right.
And everything been by community from everybody around the Syracuse area, around the Onondaga area, and all around the world. Because this organization made national news several times, and we're reaching out to people from different cities as well.
I love it, dude. And that's always blown my mind about your organization, the amount of love that was just all grassroots, community organized, community generated, just people coming together to help other people out. It's been miraculous, bro. And that national attention, it's well deserved. So sorry, go ahead.
Thing to that. Everybody that come to Sandwich Saturday don't have the same mindset. And when I mean that, there's a lot of people who have different views of take care of the homeless community, take care of the working poor. They feel that they should get a job. They feel that they should get an education. And, and I respect their point of view. But there's been a lot of times people say that I was catering to them. They can't get a job if you bring all the supplies out there. But one thing that I did, I listened a lot, and I respect everybody's point of view. But I guarantee that at the end of Sandwich Saturday, their whole view of everything can change. And it always happens, Joe. I had people came in there and say that you're unable to homeless, you're doing this, doing that. As soon as they come to Sandwich Saturday, step the door, making sandwiches, coming together as a community, hugging, smiling, laughing, children running around, a lot of children's running around, communicating with each other. Then we have a quick announcement. Then I share my story and share the blueprint of We Rise Above the Streets and the goal of We Rise Above the Streets. They sucking all that in. Then we go out and do the real work. So when they go out there and they start passing out the items that they donate to the organization, to the homeless community, and they're actually talking to the homeless community. Now I'm talking about individuals that who never been exposed to nothing like this. Everybody come to Sandwich Saturday, it's not from the city. We got people who came from Skinny Atlas, people from rich, wealthy community. So they never been exposed to violence, homelessness. They never been exposed to people to be hungry. So they have the right to ask questions, right? And I respect that. So when they see the process of Sandwich Saturday, at the end of Sandwich Saturday, and I sit back and watch them communicate with the homeless, right? Laughing with the homeless, asking if they need something. So at the end of Sandwich Saturday, it never fails, Joe. They walk to me and they start crying and apologizing. I said, no, it's okay. You're learning. We all learning. We're all. So everybody who came with a different view of the work that I'm doing, by the end of Sandwich Saturday, when they start engaging and start getting eye contact and start doing a lot of listening and less this, their whole view will change.
I love it, my brother. So let me let's get into that. So again, for people who haven't been to Sandwich Saturday, who don't know you, you really bring out the humanity in the home, seeing the humanity in your fellow man with the homeless. So tell us some of your backstory, how you ended up working with the homeless community, what inspired you, what motivated you, why did you choose this path with We Rise Above the Streets, and what's your own personal tale and connection to the homeless community?
Yes, I'm originated from Chicago, Illinois. South side, north side Chicago. Everybody watching Chi-Town. I've been born and raised in Chicago. I was born in the hardest neighborhood in Chicago called the Jeffrey Manor. Violence was like real crazy. Poverty was like terrible. I grew up with good family members. My mom and dad was great. My mom and dad always taught me how to be a man and how to work. But they from Haiti. I don't know if you knew. I'm Haitian as well.
Yeah.
So So when my parents got divorced, right, I lost two different loves, two different types of love. My father was that strong man in the household. Used to teach me how to work on cars and how to go out and cut grass and do man things. My mom was the nourisher. Always hugged me. Always told me she loved me. She believed in me. So when they get divorced, that love just disappeared from me, and I was confused. So I went out in the streets and found a different love, but I thought it was the same love as my parents, but I was wrong. So I started joining the gang in Chicago, and I saw myself putting the mask on. And when I mean putting the mask on, I lost my identity. And I started being someone that I didn't know who I was. A different identity. Became a drug dealer. Became a gang leader. I've been shot several times. I was shot once. I've been shot twice. One time I was shot, I was pronounced dead, and they brought me back to life. Been in and out of prison, saw harsh things in prison. But it's one moment that I locked up in prison. I was sick and tired. So the mask was slowly coming out my head. And I started finding my true identity. It took me years, to like 30-something years old, Joe, till I found who Al-Amin Muhammad was. When I took that mask, I found out who Al-Amin Muhammad was. I was very excited, right? And I embraced a religion there, Islam as well. Started learning about Islam, about my creator. And when I started learning about me and learning a lot of gifts about me, that I like flowers. I didn't know that. I love and tell me what gangsters like flowers, you know what I'm saying? Said plant flowers in prison, like, love them, smell them, flower, bring flowers with me and everything. And I was looking at myself in the mirror. See, this is the little things that we don't pay attention to that I'm mentioning. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was smiling and I was like, wow, I got a beautiful smile. Chicago, we don't smile. You always got a mean mug and always be aware. You got to be aware all the time. So I saw my smile. I was like, well, I got a beautiful smile. Then I started, and I was a ninth grade dropout. I forgot to mention that. I was a ninth grade dropout. I was trying to learn how to read in prison, right? And trying to do a lot of writing and everything. So when I got out, I got my GED in prison. So when I got out, I told myself I was not going back to the streets at all. I was going to leave the streets alone. I accepted Islam. I found my identity. I love who I was. I want to find a job. I was excited to go back to school and do this and do that, but it didn't happen like that. I became homeless, right? I didn't know nothing about being homeless. So I was meeting people in the street. They was teaching me how to be homeless. Ain't that crazy? How to learn how to be homeless.
Yeah.
You got a panhandle. You got to run game on different agencies to get stuff that you really need. A lot of stealing going on and everything, right? So over the years, I was trying to take care of myself. So years was going by, Joe, and I was looking different. I was strong older. I was losing a lot of weight. Mental health issues. I had a lot of mental health issues. I slept under bridges. I ate out of garbage cans. Saw horrified things happen to women in the streets. That's why I'm a big advocate of products for women right now as we speak. So it was one moment, to be honest with you, and I'm being real honest with everybody here, that what people go through when they go through mental health. I was trying to end my life, Joe. I was sick and tired of what was going on with me. So weeks before I was trying to end my life, I went to a self-sufficient a detox center, and I was trying to enroll in there so I could continue to be clean and trying to find a job and little resources. So they told me to sign my name on the list and keep coming up there, so when my name get on the top of the list, I could come in. So I was going there every week. My name went up there. So the day I was trying to end my life, a car pulled up. It was the same guy named Mr. Santos who was trying to enroll me in the program, saw me. He's like, hey, we've been looking for you. Your name was on top of the list. Hop in the car. Ain't that something?
Yeah, man.
That I was planning that I was trying to end my life, and he came out of nowhere and got me in the car and brought me to the facility and gave me some towels and told me that Monday morning, because it was Memorial Weekend, and this is why it's a connection to Memorial Weekend, our cookouts.
Right.
Connect to the story I'm about to tell you. So it was Memorial Weekend. He told me he'd be back Monday morning, and I could come to intake, and he's wanted me to share what's going on with me and see how they can help. So I shared my story to Mr. Santos. I told him everything I've been through. I share the entire story that I share with everybody that's watching tonight. And he got up, he told me to stand up. He's like, Al-Amin, what you just shared to me was so horrified. I'm sorry you had to go through this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm here with you right now, and I'm here to help you. Never give up. Continue to strive for greatness. I see greatness in you. One day you're gonna help a lot of people, Al-Amin. You're gonna help a lot of people. Don't give up. Never give up. I'm here for you. He came a little closer. I was like, hey, what's up, man? So he kissed me in my cheek. He hugged me. He told me he loved me. He embraced me as a father, as a brotherhood, as a mentor. And I walked out that door and I did what he told me to do, and I strive for greatness. And that's how, this is why I'm here right now, because of that one.
So how long were you out there between the time when you left jail? You know, you left jail hoping to start this new life and get on this new path, and then you fell into the housing insecure, homeless life. How long was it that you were out there on the streets like that?
I was homeless for 10 years, chronically homeless. 10
Wow.
years. I was chronically homeless 10 years, yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? This is where my passion comes from. When I go on the streets, there's a connection with each individual on the streets. Everybody that I serve is a connection between me and them. They're my people, and I'm their people. You know what I'm saying? And when we go out there, a lot of people see how it's amazing how the connection clicks. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard because I've been there. I know what they need. I know what they want. And I know when mental health issues start happening, I know how to approach that situation. You can ask anybody who's been to San Jose. Then now everybody that's homeless is not kind. You know, it's a lot of people have frustrations, and it's okay to have that, because imagine everybody that's watching right now. Imagine you haven't ate for weeks. Imagine you've been judged for months. Imagine you walking around with an same odor for several weeks. Imagine trying to figure out where you want to sleep at. Imagine when you finally find a place to sleep at a shelter, you're getting all your stuff stolen. Then you hear about this big cookout, and you get there and you have to stay in line, right? Of course, they're going to be frustrated, right? Yeah. So that's when I come in, because I can't eliminate all that, make them feel comfortable, because I've been in that situation they was in. Everything right. I've been there before, and I know how to respond to that.
Amazing, brother. Yeah, I know you just diffuse it, man, because you known experience. You lived it, you know it, you relate, you know you're there. So what brought you from Chicago to Syracuse? How'd you wind up in Syracuse, New York?
Yes, I've been in Syracuse for my old marriage, for Al-Amin Muhammad, who was married, and sadly we're divorced now. But she brought me here, through marriage, and as when I was here, I started doing research about Syracuse. I didn't want to stay here. At first, I didn't know nothing about Syracuse at first. Seriously, I didn't know nothing about Syracuse. I was like, Syracuse, what is that? Is that a city? Carmen Anthony? That's all I know.
Right.
When I got here, I started doing research about the city. But one thing that really struck me, really shocked me, and I was really kind of mind blown to find out the poverty in Syracuse was like, no, it was number 8 then. We're number 13 now. It was number 8 then. And I was like, how a small city challenging Chicago and New York? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just went out there and started connecting with different people to ask a lot of questions and do a lot of listening and bringing food out there and bringing sandwiches out there and bring different items out there. And then that's when I came up with Sam was sad, because I said I need people to come to see what I see. And I was taught how to bring community together. I just didn't wake up, Joe, and say, hey, I'm gonna bring the whole community together. I was taught that about another community in Atlanta called Open Door Community. They've been doing this for like 50, 40 years. And the founder, Martin Luther King, him and his wife, Ed Lauren and Murphy Lauren. If anybody want to Google Open Door Community, they're in Baltimore now. They was in Atlanta. They're some true activists, and they taught me about community. When I was homeless, and I used to come there, and I stayed there for a couple of days, and did a lot of volunteering, and they had group sessions teaching us about community. So I was taught this for like 5 years with them, and I brought them tools with me and kept it in my heart and brought them to the city of Syracuse.
Amazing, brother. So When you said, just thinking that sparked an idea with me as you're talking about Martin Luther King and the organizing community, and you and I went for a road trip one time to see Reverend Barber, with the Poor People's Campaign and the Poor People's Movement. And obviously this podcast is, I'm just covering all things 315, all things Syracuse, all things in this area, just talking with people, chopping it up, people that I find inspiring or interesting or have a story to tell. But a lot of it is obviously me being in politics now. What do you think that, what are your thoughts about homeless people? And, typically politics caters to those who are active constituents, either people who can donate to their campaign or people who will vote for them or be, and so often the homeless community gets overlooked because they lack those, that ability to organize and get together. So what are your thoughts about how politics meets up with what you do and the homeless community and how they can be an organized voice, and what role does We Rise Above the Streets, how does it interact with politics, and what are your thoughts about it? Or does?
There's a lot of people in politics, a real good friend of mine. You're one of them, Mayor Ben Wash, Senator May, a lot of people. And I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to guide what I'm about to say.
Yeah, no, say you can say it, brother. You feel free, man. I know you're on Facebook though, so you got to keep careful. But
yeah, I know, right? But it just seemed like that we need more. You know what I'm saying? We need more because all the work that I'm doing. And all the work that the community is doing that's coming together, and there's no results. When I mean result, is like to get everybody off the streets. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To fund grassroots organizations that's doing boots on the ground, that's working hard. And I'm not knocking no other organizations that's doing a magnificent job like Salvation Army, Rescue Mission, and United Way, and especially United Way. I love them. There's a lot of people who doing foot on the ground that really need funding, that need to be heard, to bring you out to the community so you can hear these individuals and what they need. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of these individuals that's out in the streets, 85% of individuals that's off the streets used to have lives like me and you and Joe and everybody that's looking right now. I met doctors. I'm talking about doctors lost their job because of the death of their loved ones. And turned to drugs and became homeless. So I'm not just dealing with homeless people that's brain damage, that's going through mental health problems. I'm dealing with a lot of individuals who had a life and just need that to get back where they're at. And the only resource they have is me. And I don't have all the answers because it takes a community to come together to help each other. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people and politicians that I'm real good friends of, and my mom just told me, just talk to them, ask them and I feel my work speak for itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My work just spoke higher volumes. It speaks a lot, and I feel that conversation should have been happening about how can we end homelessness. What is your idea, Al-Amin? What you think we should do? Because if someone that has experience of working at McDonald's, right? I'm gonna ask them how you flip them burgers, how you make them fries, how you interact with customers, right? I'm gonna learn that, and I feel that people should at least come to me and come with a couple of individuals that learn from me. There's a lot of volunteers that have learned a lot from me, and I'm learning from them as well. So I feel people should just come to me and just ask me to sit at the table with them so we could go ahead and resolve a couple of issues that's going on in the streets. Now, we got a lot of people that's doing beautiful work, like John in my father's kitchen, and that's it. I deal with me and him. We doing, but we're dealing with different groups of people. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the work, and Salvage Yard, everybody doing magnificent work, but I'm dealing with different groups of people, and I'm speaking a different language than anybody else to our community that they understand. So I don't mind reaching out to anybody that's in office so we could resolve this problem that's going on in the community. Because if you got one person that a whole group of homeless people and the working poor that's listening to them, that trust me, and I'm humbly honored for everybody in the streets that really trust me, that really listen to me, to everything that I say, and we should take it a little bit more further. You know, saying trying to get these people houses and get them jobs.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen. So one thing I wanted to bring up with you, you've got to be one of my favorite social media presences for the inspiring, you always got some, quotable, you seem to collect bits of wisdom and post it all the time on social media. Where does that desire come from? Where does, this obsession you have with great quotes, and, what role do these quotes play in your day to day,
A good, a person I truly love asked me a question and said, man, why you always smiling? Why you always encourage? You don't have bad days? I said, yes, of course I have bad days, but the bad days I have is petty. Compare from a person, now step in my shoes for a quick second. Coming from homelessness, got shot, almost lost your life, lost a lot of friends doing gang violence, been in and out the prison, saw horrified things in prison. I don't want to mention because we're on live. Saw police brutality, you know what I'm saying? All type of stuff. Then all of a sudden, I have peace in my life, right? I have peace in my life, and I found who I was, and I found my purpose, right? So every day I'm getting up, I'm hungry to inspire people because I want people to have what I have right now, right? So it's a lot of stuff that I wrote in prison, and there's a lot of stuff that I put on social media that my book is going to come out next year. I'm almost done with my book.
Okay.
There's a lot coming out from that book as well. And there's a lot of things that I'm always dreaming. I'm always daydreaming, dreaming, and coming up with words. And I love the dictionary. I read the dictionary like every day still, trying to get different words and, to put in my book and to put in my inspirational message as well. So that really comes from my experience, and to always tell myself that, man, you've been through a lot, man. Whatever upsets you is really petty right now. Like phone bills. My phone just got cut off. I got to go pay my bills. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like somebody say something smart to me at a grocery line, I just brush it off. It's really petty me. From the life that I live, I am so happy and so grateful that I'm in a position right now to live a life of peace.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I love it. And so a lot of what you're doing is, when you do the Sandwich Saturdays, et cetera, what I've seen from being there is really kind of what I call cross-pollination. You're taking people from different cultures and, getting them to understand each other, which is what I really love that about Sandwich Saturdays, that people come into, like you said, people come from Skinny Atlas and people coming from, the West Side, and people coming from Town of Honor. There are people coming from all over, and they're all from different walks of life, different experiences. So have you had to, in your role, do you feel kind of like a lot of times you have to be the, what's the word, the kind of diplomat or the conduit between all these different cultures? You got, because I imagine some of these people never interacted with the homeless before, might not know how to really speak to them in a way that's appropriate or whatever. Do you feel like you have to, kind of be the agent between all these different cultures? And what's that like trying to navigate it?
Yes. This is a gift that I didn't know I had. This is something I just learned about myself, and it's been successful. Like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago about how someone who's been like privileged, nice family, everything, never been exposed of what's going on in our community, come out here, ask a lot of questions, and we got other people that comes and try to understand why everything is set up at Sandwich Saturday like it is, right? But some strange reason, I always got the answer. I always got the answer for everything, and the answer is correct, and there've been a lot of challenges of people asking questions, but at the end of Sandwich Saturday, we always go back to what I was telling you, Joe, a couple of minutes ago, that a lot of them will start crying and apologize and hug me and tell me, thank you so much for revealing this to me. I needed this. And some of them say, I'm ashamed for asking these questions. And I'll tell them that these are the questions I need to hear. You know what I'm saying? This is where change starts, right? You know what I'm saying? These questions. My most challenging experience I had at Summer Saturday, a lot of people say this has never happened in the city of Syracuse, that I have the Onondaga Nation's whole area to come to Summer Saturday, the Onondaga Nation. And
oh wow.
And I was invited to the area as well, you know, and that was probably one of the most mind-blowing experiences I ever had. They brought their whole family, kids, everything, Summer Saturday. But I didn't know that, you know, it was kind of hard for them to engage events like this, because when, I don't want to say his name, he's like the head over there. When he called me, he told me that they don't do stuff like this, go out in the community, you know, they just like what I do, and they came with the family and everything. That's probably one of the most beautiful experiences that I ever encountered, you know, with the Onondaga Nations. Because you know why? Because I saw the community from all walks of life, taking pictures with them, communicating with them, hugging the kids playing together, and everything else. So all the challenges that I've seen, that all the questions and people asking, you know, why you do this, why you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. When they go through the process of Summer Saturday and see me engaging with people and see me moving around like a crazy man, and they're working as well, like hand to hand and eye to eye, you know, at the end of Summer Saturday, their whole life will turn around.
Love it, brother. So what's your feelings about, tell us a little bit about, like you said, I'm always fascinated by people that are transplants to Syracuse. You didn't come, you know, you're not born and raised in Syracuse. What strikes you most about the city of Syracuse? What stands out to you? What do you know, what are some, you know, I guess your pros and cons, things that you feel about the Cuse and about 315?
When I first came down here, this is kind of funny because a lot of people, especially people of my race, you know, when I first came, they say, wow, this dude come from Chicago and doing something that we should be doing in our city. This dude come from Chicago and all that. So I was saying it's okay, but you know, but these the people that say that, I just embrace them and try to work with them. You know, I want to share my blessings with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So the best thing I love about Syracuse, to be honest with you, and I ain't never seen this in no state. I'd have been everywhere. Chicago, my hometown. I've been in Atlanta for 17 years. I'd have been in a lot of cities. Syracuse is the only city that this community is beautiful. This is one of the best community in the whole world. And I could challenge anybody from other cities. This community, man, honestly, you know what, we could be on live for a long time if I tell you what this community did for this organization and what they do out from the organization. When I mean out, like they learn and they go out and continue to help people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful community. I love Syracuse, and Syracuse is my home, and I'm here, man, till it's ending. This city is beautiful. I love it. I've met so many people, and I'm not just talking about the city of Syracuse. You know, other people from other areas. You know, beautiful people, different people from different races. I learned a lot from different other races, different other people's views, and different religions. And if this don't speak volumes right here, I'm Muslim. I didn't work with Jews. I didn't work with Christians, Baptists. I just spoke in the Christian's pulpit. I didn't make sandwich at a synagogue and sat with the rabbi and have long conversations, hour conversations with the rabbi. If that's not powerful, it's not powerful. I don't know what it is, you know. I collaborate with different cultures, you know, different religions, and been going to their congregations and speaking at the congregations, you know. But that's probably the one thing that really caught my heart is the people in Syracuse are so beautiful and so kind and so generous and want to help. They want to help. They know how to help till this organization started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they know how. They're trying to find a path, you know.
Love it, brother. I couldn't agree more, man. You spot on the money with that one. So I'm looking at the comments now, you know, seeing if people were throwing us comments. Mary Kuhn asks, how do we get the homeless to vote for representatives that will represent them? Both the poor and the homeless don't vote. Now, do you know if have you ever talked to the homeless about voting? Or, I mean, without an address, can they register? I mean, do the homeless vote at all? Are they able to engage in the process at all?
A lot of them don't got IDs, and a lot of them don't have housing, but a lot of them have like address, like mail, like PO boxes, you know, and a lot of them have IDs. So the people that we working with IDs, let us work with them to get all the IDs and paperwork they need to vote. But the people who's ready to vote, they're out there. They have the ID, they have a home address and everything, but they're confused. You know, a lot of them say that I'm not voting. They ain't gonna help us and all this. But there's time that a couple of people that came out and I supported came out to the community and they voted for him. I don't want to name no names. You know,
Right.
They came out there and campaigned out there through Summer Saturday and got a large group of individuals went to the polls. So there's people out there who was homeless, right, and had all the items they need to go register for a Democrat. You know, to go. The reason I'm saying Democrat, that's all I run to, doing the homeless community. You know, and they go out to vote. You know, and there's several people that came to Summer Saturday and got signatures from people who want to vote, and you know, but they have to trust you. And I keep saying trust. You know, trust is an important word. People have to trust you. You know, a lot of people's not going to jump up and vote for you. A lot of people's not going to listen to a person that's telling them to vote for you. You understand what I'm saying? You got to put action behind it. You know, and if you put a lot of action behind what you're saying, they'll come to the polls. You know.
Yep.
The polls.
Love it, brother. So one other topic I wanted to touch on with you because you're such an inspiration, both with your overcoming homelessness and all the things. But I think one of the first times you and I ever chopped it up and started hanging was we was driving back and forth from Planet Fitness, right?
Oh yeah, remember that?
Yeah, we used to see each other on the treadmill and stuff, and I know. For me, it's a constant struggle. So, you were once, I mean, you had another inspiring story about how much weight you lost and how you've been. So, maybe talk about, what physical health has meant to you and your journey with that some,
Yes, absolutely. I've been clean for 17 years now, 17 years clean. My choice of drugs was snorting powder, smoking weed, and drinking. So I'm 17 years clean now. So during the 17 years, I was over 450, 500 pounds. The reason I was that size because when you're a drug dealer, a big time drug dealer, weight seemed like it's power in Chicago. Big weight seemed like it's power. So I always carried that weight like I loved it and it was like power to me. So when I became homeless, it became a struggle. It became a struggle. 500 pound, 400 some pound homeless man dragging all that weight around him. So that's why I had a couple of surgeries in my knees because I had bone to bone. What do you call that? Knee replacement.
Yeah.
Because I had bone to bones was rubbing and everything. So after I got clean and after I was trying to lose weight, I had a lot of health problems. Because when you're smoking weed, you're on drugs, you don't feel all them health problems. You don't feel none of that. None of the high blood pressure, none of that, because you're numb. So when I stopped drinking and stopped doing drugs, all my health problems started hitting me hard, right? And one day I went to the doctor and the doctor told me that, man, you have to lose this weight. This is when I recovered through homelessness and everything. And I finally got insurance because I never had insurance. I was so excited when I had insurance. When I first got health insurance, I cried. I was, jumping around. I was going to see the eye doctor. I was seeing everybody, dentist. I was dentist, and I finally got insurance. So when I finally went to the doctor to see how I get my knees done, because my knees was kind of horrible and I was overweight. And the doctor looked at me and said, you know what? You have to lose 250 pounds, close to 300 pounds to really have knee surgery. And still there, Joe?
Yeah, yeah. How about you? You got
You
it?
still there, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You there, brother? I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me? Oh. Oh, we lost him. All right, y'all. I'll see if I can start it again. Looks like we lost the feed. All right. Wait, let me see. Maybe we got him back. Can you hear me now, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Here we go again with this. Hold on.
That's all right, brother. We'll just keep on talking. We can keep on chopping it up.
Okay.
So I think you were just saying that you had to lose the weight before you could have surgery.
Yes, when I have knee surgery, I had to lose all that weight before I had knee surgery. So during the time that when I found that out, I walked out and I was really hurt because I was hearing I wanted to hear another answer, you know. So when I got out, I just went out and lost that weight. I kept coming to my appointments. He kept noticing I was losing weight, and one day I got on a scale. I was ready for surgery, and when I got surgery, I was really happy because I needed my knee done, and that's when you came and visited me. Remember?
Yep. I brought you some Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, I was in the hospital on Thanksgiving, like, you know, and I had surgery, and it's one of the best decisions I ever made, man. One of the best decisions. I'm a gym rat right now, but I'm going crazy, honestly, right now because I'm not in the gym. When I'm doing a lot of walking every morning at Ottanaga Lake, and I got a couple of weights in my apartment, and I, lift a couple of weights every morning before I leave out. But I really miss the gym, man, like crazy, because when you're doing the same routine for years and it gets stripped from you,
It's hard.
Yes, it's really hard, man. It's really hard.
Yeah, I'm on the same, man. I'm trying to ride my bike every morning, trying to get out there and just do something, man, because I miss the gym too. Because I'm, us Italians, we love our pasta, So,
That's right.
That's right, man. It ain't easy. But what's so you've been 17 years clean and off of substances and stuff. What's it like trying to, do you try to bring that light to the homeless community, people that you meet? How do you try to tell them? I mean, one of the lines that comes to my mind, I don't know if you watched The Wire. That's my favorite.
Yes.
It's my favorite show of all time. There's one scene where he's interviewing a homeless guy and he says, are you drinking? You drink under here, like kind of a little accusatory. And the guy's like, you think I sleep under this bridge sober? Like about, you can just imagine, like you were saying earlier, about all the different challenges that these folks are facing. And, but a lot of times I find, people, you can't tell them the truth unless they're ready to hear it. So it can be a hard thing, So how do you try to, talk to people about drug issues when they are homeless, and how do you try to relate to them and, with your experience and trying to get them to come around to that light?
A lot have to do a lot of media coverage. A lot had a lot of media coverage, to be honest with you, because when I first went out there, a lot of them knew I've been through a lot, but they didn't know my story. And the reason why they knew I've been through a lot, because when you see somebody and when you hear him talk and you see his body movement and the way he move and everything, that individual been through a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So a lot of them was trying to figure me out till they saw a lot of media coverage. So when they started reading a lot of articles and saw a lot of media coverage, a lot of them was real shocked, like, wow, man, that is expiring. And they started to get to know me. And that's when I'm starting to build a relationship. and start hearing a lot of issues they're going through with alcohol and drugs and mental health issues, and I give them tools and information so they could improve the quality of their lives. And what is that? Is me sharing what I've been through and what's the tools I use to overcome it. And it's a lot of individuals who tried and relapsed, but I could tell you right now, it's a lot of other group of individuals has been clean as well because of the actions that I'm doing and the people that's doing around me. That's
Amen.
why I was inspired to have them classes. Because I was telling myself, I said, you know what, if I'm doing this in the streets, I can have them in one room and really teach them the 12 steps and teach them self-sufficient and teach them what to expect when you're clean and research for jobs, from helping them to find jobs, and to build that community in one room, to show them that we're here for you. We're not going to turn our backs. We're going to share everything that we're learning or that we learned, and we're going to pass it on to you as well. And we're going to give you items and give you different things that you need to continue to walk in life.
Love it, brother. Love it. I often think of one of my favorites is Gangstar has a line where he says, I don't feel like smoking or even getting high because all it's going to do really is accelerate this anxiety I'm trying to alleviate.
Yes.
And it's my moment of truth, because so often we turn to, drink and drugs because we have so much anxiety and so much stress that we need a respite, we need a release from that, and then so often we don't realize that we're actually, pouring accelerant and gasoline on the fire that we're trying to put out.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I forgot to mention this. This has been documented. Over 4 years. Let me see. Yeah. Over 4 years, we done passed out 8,000 sack lunches to the community.
Wow.
Over 4 years, we done found over 22, if I'm not mistaken, 25 people housing. 25 people housing that's still in housing. We done find jobs. And I'm not the only one that's doing this. I'm talking about the community. When people come out to the community and when they start interacting with the homeless community and start using these tools that I taught them, these tools and information that I taught them, and they're going out there and using these tools to communicate with the homeless community, that's when relationships start building. That's when questions start to be asked, right? And that's when concerns start being heard. So a lot of people that come to San Jose has found jobs for other people that's homeless. There's a lot of volunteers that's having relationships, friendly family relationships with the homeless community as we're speaking right now, and there's a lot of people that's calling me and telling me they miss this individual because we can't go to San Saturday. How they doing? And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How they doing and everything. So there's a lot is happening. There's a lot of people that we're saving, but there's a lot of people still out there struggling, and I'm not giving up on them because somebody gave me a chance, and I have the opportunity to give somebody else a second chance as well.
Love it, brother. Love it. So I got a question here in the comments from my buddy Jared Shepard. He's saying, he does a lot of data analysis and collecting a lot of stuff. He said we always look at the economic statistics like jobs, wages, and poverty to gauge the progress in the community, but that might not actually capture the lives that are really changing or improving. If someone like him is trying to capture what does progress in our community look like, what does an improved life look like? In your thoughts, what are some other things we can look at to see if we're doing better in Syracuse with at-risk communities and with poverty?
Relationships, claim it back. Relationships. Go out there, do boots on the ground, and communicate with people and find out what's the concern and build relationships with them. Do a lot of eye contact and do a lot of listening. That's where it starts. I'm serious. That's where it starts. That's why this organization has been successful, because there's a lot of people that who was uncomfortable, that came out there, and they found out a lot about themselves by going out there to get all this information. As what's his name? I'm sorry. What's the guy name?
Jared. Yeah.
Yeah, what Jared's trying trying to get. So our first step is to build relationship, to go out in the community.
Amen.
And then everything else comes after that. Everything he just mentioned come after that. To come out in the community and to do a lot of listening and building relationships.
And that's great, bro. My friend Chris.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, bro.
The reason I'm saying this is because before that 81 had started, nobody know nothing about it. Nobody know that tell people who's in the communities to come out there to educate them. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Before that, it was all just a story, just something they're hearing about. You know, they ain't know nothing about. Same thing, the question he just asked. You know, you got to come in the community, come speak to the people, come hear their concerns, and to help the people.
Yep. What about tiny homes? Have you encountered that project? I got a question here about that. Have you encountered the tiny homes thing, and how is that project factored into the work you're doing?
Yes, I've met. I forgot his name, and I should be ashamed of myself because he know me very well. What's the young guy that's in charge over there who runs it? I forgot his name.
I know who you're talking about too.
He's a great guy. I met him several times. I met him one time at his Social Justice Award, and I met him again through Walk Dixie. I met him at an office doing Walk Dixie. We never worked together, and hopefully we could cross paths one day. Every time I see him, we always embrace each other, and we always tell each other we're proud of each other. You know, and he said he's a big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of his, but one day we're gonna cross paths and we're gonna come together and work. You know, and I feel we come together, we could do a lot of things together. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of things that I want, and I know I got a lot of things that he want as well. So hopefully, if he's watching right now, let's work.
I love it. That's what we're here for, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I've been keeping these things about an hour, brother Al-Amin. So we're coming in on wrapping up on the time. So before we bounce, tell us, you know, what you got planned for the future. You know, future dreams, goals, ideas, and most importantly, let all the folks watching, interacting, know how they can find you, how they can find We Rise Above the Streets, how they can donate, where your offices are, all that good stuff.
Yes. Well, our future after this over with is continue Summer Saturday, and to get another location, because right now my office right now looks like a Wegmans warehouse right now. You know, I had my personal office. It's not my personal office no more. It's another storage room. So I goes to find somewhere bigger, and I'm patient. I'm not going to rush it because every time I don't rush it and be patient, something comes along. And I was going to continue my classes to find jobs and to continue to help people. You know, after this over with, I just want to continue to have classes because the classes was about to start till this pandemic started, and continue to bring the community together. You know, continue to bring people together around Syracuse, New York, and around the world because it's working. It's working because it's opened other avenues to this organization and to their life as well. I have a book, a powerful book that's coming out next year. It's so powerful. It's going to be kind of like it's going to be a couple of issues. You know, it's just a lot of things that I went through in the city, and there's a lot of good things that I went through in the city. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't addressed that went on with the Dunkin' Donut incidents. You know, and there's a lot of stuff was addressed with different people in office. There's a lot of stuff been addressed with me myself that I ain't never told people that I went through in the streets, something horrified. There's a lot of stuff that I'm just going to let it out. You know, it's a lot of stuff that personally, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna address that was going on with me that everybody know. I don't want to mention it, but everybody know what's going on. You know, that was going on with me, and I'm just going to address it to in my book. You know, why that I was in this position and why the things that I did what led me to the things I did. And it's going to be more of my story and more of people that helped me out in the city of Chicago and the steps that I took to bring the community together, to bring love and compassion and goodness among the community.
Love it. And so before we bounce, let folks know, where can they find We Rise Above the Streets? How can they plug in? How can they donate? Where do they find you online and all that good stuff?
Yes, we're located at 404 Oak Street, Suite 111. Everybody's welcome to come to a meet and greet. If you have any questions, you want to interact with me, I'm there Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. If anybody want to donate, we have a PayPal. We Rise Above the Streets. We cover your outreach. I'm sorry, We Rise Above the Streets at gmail.com. Sam Saturday right now is not happening. Right now, we're not accepting no volunteers to further notice. But you're welcome to donate to our pantry. We definitely need canned goods and different items that you have in your shelves, that you go out to Wegmans, that you go out to different stores and get for your family. We definitely need food. We definitely need food. Every week I'm barely making it to helping at least 20 to 40 families a week, and I'm not going to answer no, I'm not going to ask any questions because the items are steady coming from the community. Other than that, please continue to help us to grow, continue to help us to save the city, continue to help us to spread kindness and love and compassion amongst the city.
All right, brother Al-Amin, thank you so much for spending this hour with me. You've been a constant inspiration to me. One of my favorite characters in the 315. And
thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother. And I'm wishing you only the best moving forward. And when this whole nonsense is over, I'm gonna come through and we're gonna do a Sandwich Saturday together again and take some time to chop it up.
Oh yeah, because that when everything get back to normal, it's not just Sandwich Saturday. All the local businesses and everything, they better get ready because it's going to be crazy, right? I'm talking about like concerts, everything is going to be crazy. So right now is a good time. Right now, this pausing, to be honest, Joe, this has been a blessing to me. I'm sleeping 8 hours now. I ain't slept 8 hours in 4 years. I slept like only 4 hours, and I'm doing a lot of planning and I'm doing a lot of reflection and working my mind, body, and spirit. I'm really loving this time right now, but I know that I need to be prepared when everything get back to normal, because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be mass crazy. It's going to be a lot of people coming. It's going to be a lot of people reaching out like it used to be, but we need to be ready.
Love it, brother. I mean, well, all right, man. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for coming on, and
thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate it, man.
God bless you.
And I love you too, man. Thank you so much for your friendship, okay, and your brotherhood.
Always, my brother. All right, I'll talk to you soon, brother Al-Amin.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.